Hello and welcome to this Slippy Limpets video. It's the middle of October. Sorry, no, it's the start of October. It's about the 6th or something. And I've been fishing on the beach a fair bit. So it was a really nice day, and the conditions for cod fishing or beach fishing have been absolutely terrible. Westerlies, clear seas, no swell. So I thought I'll get the lower rod back out again, get some vitamin D. So I've come down to a mark that I have had good luck on, well, good success on my first time here. Subsequent times have been tricky, either big tide, big swells, lots of weed in the water, wrong time of tide, well, or stupidly strong winds. Today we've got stupidly strong winds, and I was actually going to fish a different mark, but it had pots in front of it, so it wasn't possible really. So come down to this mark. The tide is a massive tide and it's dropping now, so it's exactly the same conditions as when I first fished it and had good luck. There's no weed, the wind is strong but we're sheltered from it, and there's no swell, so it's looking good. The only thing is that it's 3:30 so it's going to be dark in about 3 hours, so bit of a challenge to catch a fish in that time, at this time of year, but it's nice to be out getting some vitamin D's, and yeah, let's see if we can get a fish. Right then, let's get this show on the road. First cast. Just left a bass lure on that I was using. It's probably a bit heavy for this, but I caught loads of bass on it, so, and my mate caught a pollack, so you never know. It's a bit big for what I usually like to use for pollack, but the pollack that took this was absolutely, well, it was about £2, so it's always worth a try. It's got a massive tail on it, so it just really thumps. There's a structure that's right in front of us. Yeah, it really thumps a load of water, but it's not weedless. It's called a Mad-eel. It's 140mm, big. I was just about to take this off. Looks like the rock's going to be doing it for us. Oh, it's pulling. Nah. Damn, nearly got it out. Time for a new leader. It's a good spot this, because when the tide's moving like it is now, you can see a massive amount of current just in front, coming in between the cliff and this rock here. Hoons along here and out that way, depending on which way the tide's going, left to right or right to left. I think when tide's going out, it's travelling north. Yeah, travelling north, so it's going from right to left here. And then there's various big bits of structure that allow the fish to kind of sit out of the current and wait for the food to come along, and I think that's why this is a particularly good mark, but it's quite tricky to fish, as you've just seen. So let's get our leader retied. Probably £22 fluorocarbon, new lure clip, and let's open the bag of tricks and see what we've got in there. Take your tag ends home with you. Get asked about these clips, are LMAB easy clips, I think they're called. Rated at 12 kilograms or 24 pounds. They're great clips, nice and strong, quite compact, but they can cut your hand if you pick up the lure and the lure slips when you've got a fish on it. I'm going to take my tag end home. What have we got in here? Save those for later. It's all Z-Man stuff at the minute for some reason. Let's whack on one of these. This is the 120mm 15g version. It's actually offshore. What that means is the ring here, the shallower it's meant for, the ring is closer to the tip of the nose of the lure. Because this is offshore, it's meant to be fished vertically almost, which is why the ring's further back. But it just means that it swims slightly odd angle, and doesn't cast quite as well. But it'll be fine in deeper water. It's not actually glued on, so they'll last way longer if you glue the bodies on. And there we go, glued that on. As I said, waited a couple of minutes, and that fish glue, although expensive, is just sets in no time. It's pretty strong. Don't get as far with that as 15 grams as I was with that. I don't know, I think that lure that I was chucking before with the 20g jig head, and I think the body's about 20 grams as well, so it was 40 in total. So going to a 15 is a little bit different. Every now and again, get these big rollers coming through from the north. That's better. Longer drop, a little bit of extra distance. Which is why I'm not standing too close to the water. I don't want to get wet feet. Yep, here comes that swell. It's out of nowhere. It's good to see a couple of gannets flying around. This place has been, the bird life's been decimated with bird flu, and it has been for most of the summer. I think it's just starting to hit the south of England and Wales now, and of course that means it's on the news, whereas I think our local gannet colony at the Bass Rock was the largest in Europe, and I think they estimate there's about 350,000 birds being killed on there. Well, not on there, but that colony has just been wiped out. And I mean, you can see there's hardly anything around here. It's quite depressing, really, sort of fishing and just seeing carcasses and birds that were just completely out of it, just bobbing around. Why did I lift into that? Well, I thought it was a fish, that's why I lifted into it. Go on up over, yes. Have a quick drop in front of this big boulder. Bad idea. Braid on barnacles. Well, that lasted 3 casts. Let's get another leader on. That's it. My new leader tied on. I was, against my better judgment, I've gone and stuck a Xenon or a razor claw silver minnow. You've seen what's happened to non-weedless soft plastic, so I'm assuming this is going to go the same way, but I'll be able to cast it away a lot further and hopefully into the current line over there. And then as long as I remember to bring it up over the big bit of weedy structure in front of us, hopefully should be alright. These are pretty lethal counted for 3 double-figure pollacks so far this year, so, and they cost 150. Absolutely brilliant. Right, first cast. Oh yes. Right next to that big bit of structure there. Probably a bit close. Yep. Went over the top of it. Just let it sink down the side of it. And the fish should be, if there's any there, and they're biting, should be sitting close to the structure. Oh, smell fish on the air. Smells like coolies. Definitely a coolie. Oh. Oh well, there's the first fish, kind of. Hooked one, so they're here. People give us a weird look when I say I can smell fish on the air, but you know, I literally just said I can smell coolie, and then go and catch one. Just in front of that big block there. Wasn't massive, but given the time of year, we know it's not going to be massive. We're either going to get a reasonable cod, rarely a pollack, but normally coolies. So, and because I've only got, well, had 3 hours of fishing, I haven't got my watch on, so I don't know what time it is, but we're fighting darkness. So, yeah, let's get in. We've got a fish, kind of. Quite lucky to have coolies around here, actually. I know they're not prevalent in a lot of places in the UK, but they're here all year round. They're not massive. I think my biggest maybe 2.5 or 3 pounds, but they don't half fight. They're found all the way through the water column. You know, you can catch them on the bottom, you can catch them near the surface. I've even caught them on a popper or a surface lure before. And yeah, they fight really well for the size. But the reason why I can smell them is I've got a nickname for them, and that's shitfish. 2 reasons. Before all the sewage interceptors were built around here, you used to be able to find them right at the shit pipe mouth of the shit pipes, eating shit, and because they smell like it as well. They don't smell of it too much, but they just don't have a nice odour. So affectionate name of shitfish. Like everything else as well, they grow massive over in Norway. I bet. I can't imagine what what it's like catching one that size. You can say pollack's a good fighting fish, but coalie definitely is as well. It's obviously just not the size that we get here. Check out the Norwegian ones, they're like 30, 40, 50 pounds. But yeah, often save a blank. Oh, hello little fella. Oh, that's not a coalie. Oh, good head shakes on that. Need to get it up before that structure that. Oh. It's in, it's out, it's coming. I did forget my net, so landing it, if I get it close enough, is going to be reasonably tricky. God, that took miles out. What is it? Cod or pollack? If it goes again, then it's definitely a pollack. Yeah. pollock. Whew. Not a bad one either. Oh, happy days. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That took absolutely miles out. What a scrap for a little fish. It's in good condition, mind. Thick across the back. Big belly. Yes. Caught a fish. Hey. Let's get it back. Oh, just spat up. Look at the size of that. Don't know what it is. Looks like a coley. So I thought it was perfect time for flying the drone, so set it all up, turn that on, and for some reason my phone thinks it's got water or dirt in the charger, but it literally just came out of my pocket. Does this at home as well. I didn't think it would happen with a drone, so gutted. Well, that's really disappointing. The wind's died down nicely, and some ideas for some good shot. And I carried this bloody thing in 3 batteries all the way down here. So the way I like to fish these lures, you can fish them obviously lots of different ways, but this lure's got three different types of action, I guess. If you keep the line taut while it's sinking in the water, it will flutter from side to side in sort of like a big arc, really, as it sinks down. If you let line out or release the tension, it kind of shoots off. Thought I had a bite. Kind of shoots off backwards, but still has an erratic fall. And then the third action is literally just a retrieve. So when I'm winding it in, it'll swim side to side like that in a sort of tighter, erratic action. So what I tend to do is mix those 3 up. So obviously you cast, and then I can leave the tension on the line and let it just sink slowly, fluttering around. But you will lose a little bit of casting distance in deep water, which isn't always a problem. I did have a bite. That is legitimately hooked as well. That must be the smallest pollock I've ever caught on such a large setup. That's a 3/0 hook, that. Sorry fella, got eyes bigger than your belly. So as I was saying, you can keep the tension on the line and let it flutter down, and that's good when the fish are finicky or you're not fussed about distance. But what I'll tend to do normally is mix the 2 sink rates up. So cast out, lures hit the water, and then I'll release a bit so it shoots off backwards and then starts fluttering. And what that's doing is giving us more time with the lure in the kill zone, if you like, or the hit zone. And then once it's hit the bottom like that, I'll give it a lift, and then you can either do a straight retrieve, and that works really well when the fish are hungry. But if they're not, then you can try and bring them on a bit by doing the lift and draw. So a lift like that, and then a couple of winds, and then let it sink. And if you're coming over a deep hole, then you can always just let the line out again, and it'll shoot off backwards. And basically, I'm just mixing those 3. actions of the lure up, and I found it works pretty well. The lift and draw technique as well is really good for learning the structure on the seabed, because obviously you're bouncing the lure along. You can get a mental picture of what the seabed is like. Like obviously you know there's big bits of structure in front of me here because it keeps taking my lures. And then I know there's structure out there, but then there's actually a deep hole behind or right in the middle of this little bay here, sort of towards that rock. And that's where a lot of the fish come from here. And in all honesty, that's kind of the basis of lure fishing in the sea for bottom feeding species. And actually, as I've learned recently, bass. Well, the light's starting to fade. I think what I might do is change my angle. It's been a good hour or so. So what I think I might do actually is a very, very, very generous subscriber called Mick. It's called Geordie Mick Angling on Instagram or something like that. Gave us an absolutely massive bag of lures that I apparently didn't need, filled with fish. This is just a couple of them. Don't normally fish with pink, and that's probably, I don't know. I was going to say it's too clear, but the water's like gin, so maybe not. It's quite a heavy little head. I don't know what sort of weight that is. I haven't seen that before. It's probably pretty old, but either that or it's a tribute. Unsure. But the body feels legit. Yeah, let's give these two a go. Gonna fish in this gully here. And yeah, thanks very much, Mick. When you said you had some lures for us, mate, I wasn't expecting, like, I don't know, it's almost a lifetime supply. Oh yeah, there's a definite smell of fish on the air. This rod is just immense. It'll throw 50 grams and tiny little 10 gram things like that for miles. So speaking of the lure, tackle, just in case you're new to the channel, hi. I'm using a Tailwalk Hi-Tide SSD. It's 8'3" and will cast 15 to 50 grams officially. I've got a 2,500 size Daiwa mag sealed. This reel comes with quite a deep spool, but the previous reel that it replaced was called a Daiwa Freems. That had, if you got the 2508A version, that came with a shallow casting spool or braid spool, and it actually fits onto the BG mag sealed. So I've done that. I've stuck 12-pound Tasline Elite braid from Australia or New Zealand, which is 12 pound or 0.6 PE on that little shallow spool, and then I've got 20-pound fluorocarbon as my leader. Come on, out you get. This bay is empty now. Doesn't look very natural. Oh, I don't think. I've not seen many pink fish around here. Pink does have its time. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, I got it. Oh, it's in the... Oh. I think it's come off. Oh, that was such a subtle hit. It must have been right at the base of that structure. And then it just, it took us straight into the kelp on the backside of a big rock and unhooked itself. First cast on the pink though. Mint. Oh. That was awesome. Is that the same fish? So you know that structure I've been talking about right in front of us? Well, I brought the lure up over the top of it and then just let it drop, and it just stopped dropping. And that thing was, it's not the same fish as I caught before, this is way bigger. That thing was just right at my feet. Didn't even feel the hit. Go on, away you go. Mint. What a scrap as well. Right at my feet. Pink. Well, that was a bit of an unexpected session, in all honesty. Thought I would have absolutely no chance of catching a fish today. A little coley was all I was after, but you know what, I've been thinking about it. And it might actually be water bottle's just falling off the ledge. It might actually be my best pollack session locally this year, which sounds crazy, but the fishing's been absolutely shocking for me anyway. I'm sure other people have had a good time, and yeah, the lures that worked, that bright pink was instant success, and catching that fish right at my feet was pretty damn cool, I thought. Really enjoyed that catch, and it actually turned out to be the bigger fish. So I caught one right out there with the metal. I caught that tiny little one, a coley, which dropped off, which is fine by me. And then the big one right at my feet, just down there. I would say big. It was maybe 3.5 to 4 pounds potentially. Not bad at all for what, a 3-hour session. Really gutted about the drone. I mean, it's like glass now pretty much, and really nice light. Would have got some amazing sunset photos, but I guess it's time for either a fixed phone or a new phone. So what I'm going to do is pack up this mess and then head back up there. You can see the pink on the clouds of the sunset, and then probably treat myself to a beer once I get home after the 1.5-hour drive. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed filming it, and please leave a comment, that would be great. And until the next one, as always, tight lines. Oh, this will do, the phone will do this justice. There's the man in the moon, you can see his face. Three hairs down there.